Also die people kommen auf die Israel, kommt another transport.
So they came in, they stayed a short time,
Short
then they
time.
went to Israel.
Yeah.
And what about you? Because you said you wanted to go to Israel.
I went over, I owe money.
You were earning money,
I
so
earn money in a good job.
so you were happy.
I'm very happy. Yeah, I'm happy.
Did you need to speak French?
In the camp, no, but I catch up French later. When I began into the shop, I ordered orders what you sent to the camp, paid this, everything. I catch French very quick.
But in the camp, were there people of different nationalities?
See, Polish people, the Polish people, German people, they speak all Yiddish.
Yes.
Yeah. But me in France, I speak French.
So how long were you there?
Nearly 2 years, I think.
And then why did you move on?
I don't know. They kind of my mind, she shifted.
It was enough.
My sister comes to Marseille to me.
Ah, so
And,
your
yeah,
sister
my sister
survived.
living in Germany, lives in Germany, comes to France, and I meet my sister.
Did she find out that you were still alive, or
Yeah, she knew I am alive.
did you know that she was alive?
No.
So when did she arrive?
She
in
arrived
Mars?
in 1949 maybe.
Did any of the rest of the family
No,
survive?
no.
Did she know that? Did she give you the information?
Yeah. And she gone to Israel, and I still left in Israel.
Which sister is that?
The sister was living in Israel.
What's her name?
Esther.
Esther. So what kind of a reunion was that for you? So did you go together to
No,
Israel?
separate.
Who went first?
My sister.
On her own?
Yeah.
And what year did you go to Israel?
Huh?
Which year did
1950.
you? How did you travel?
The ship.
And was that all legal?
So
And-
good to be legal.
And where did you disembark? Where did you land in Israel?
Haifa.
Yeah. And was your sister there to
Yeah,
meet
my
you?
sister went to Tel Aviv, not Qatar, a room.
And is that, where did you go when you arrived?
When I arrived again, I've been in Haifa for a couple of weeks, and now allowed to go out in the camp. Later I've been going to my sister, I started to live with my sister.
And when you arrived in Israel, how what was it like?
Hot. We
Your-
come 11 years. 11, was it this? Smetana. Så 11 years I called things and
Oh,
they
and
can't be-
lemonade.
in the camp it could be kitchen with everything, with everyone going to the other areas.
So what were your first impressions of Israel?
So off in the camp. It's very free.
To be free.
It's off in the camp.
How did you react to arriving in Israel?
Not special.
No.
When I've been before free. Yeah. I've been together with my sister. I started to work in
What work did
textile.
you?
I worked in Israel before I manufactured rosin from textile.
How did you get your job? What did anybody give you any help?
Yes, I'm working here. My friend was living before the war not in Israel.
Did you receive any help from any organisations when you arrived in Israel? Refugee organisations or Jewish
No.
organisations? Did you not? Did you seek any
I
help?
know, I don't bother. When I come to Israel with some money, was I earn in Marseille.
So you worked in the textile industry.
Yeah.
What sort of work were you doing?
Textile, machine.
Machine.
I work with it.
And how long did you continue doing that for?
How long? Well, I meet my wife.
When was that?
1961, 1962.
So how did you meet your wife?
Yeah, I told you, she the black.
Tell me, for the tape.
Yeah. I meet with my wife, friends.
Some friends introduced you.
Yeah.
Do you remember the names of the friends?
And all of that.
What were their names?
Goldberg. No, then it's all the common back one of holidays.
How did you manage to fit in with the socially in Israel? Was it easy to make friends?
I got friends before the war. Was living in Israel.
Ah, so you already had friends there. And how did you like the way of life in Israel?
Very good.
And the climate?
Very good.
You liked it?
Yeah, I liked it.
And were you making a comfortable living? What sort of?
Very comfortable. I got my flat, 2-bedroom flat.
And you met your wife?
I met my
through some friends. And when did you get married?
Married 96, yeah, in Badagela in Tel Aviv.
And what is your wife's name?
Sylvia.
And did she come from a similar background to yourself? Was her background as a refugee?
No.
What was her background?
They live here in England. We're going on holidays to the sister.
So she was just on holiday in Israel?
Yeah.
So a very different background. Did you tell her about what you'd been through?
She knew. Yeah, I told her.
She knew?
Yeah, I told her, yeah. Well, my friend told her then.
And when you got married,
Yeah.
did you stay in Tel Aviv? Did you settle
I
there?
got a flat in Bnei Brak. The border Ramat Gan in Ramat Gan.
And how did you support yourselves?
I worked in
The same.
in textile.
Yes. And how much longer did you stay in Israel?
It's 96 to 1 to 96 to 9.
Not very long.
No.
Why did you decide to leave?
I know how to live. I never been out the country. I want to go on holiday. I come here on the holidays and meet my wife's family. And I stuck.
You came here for a holiday?
And I stuck.
Before you left Israel?
I now got the mind to stay here. Now I've been here of 3 months. Because for 3 months I want something to work and I need money to living. I started to work and I worked and I stuck.
You stayed here. While you had been living in Israel, had you served in the army at all?
I've been 3 months in the army, 1956, in the Sinai.
In the?
Sinai.
In the Sinai.
The
What were you doing?
The kitchen.
In the kitchen. Why only for 3 months?
Later, General Eisenhower told us, go out.
They didn't want you anymore?
No, General Eisenhower in America told us that the Jewish government, go out.
So you left?
We're gonna home here. I've been 3 months.
So you made your home here in England?
I made my home a couple times. One time I make in Warsaw, I make in Wrocław a home, and I make in France a home, and I make a home in Israel, and this.
So
this is the last.
So you're used to making homes wherever you are?
The next home beside.
And how have you supported yourselves while you've been living here?
Yeah. My wife work. I started to work, I earned £10. I earned £10 a week. Later I see if in £10 a week I not can make a living. My wife started to be pregnant. I told my boss, the boss is very leveraged on the handbag. He live in Finchley. Told Mr. Leverson, I must leave your job, I not can make a living. I have another job. As I told him, no, you're net, I give you another £5 a week. It's £50.
So what you were doing, making handbags,
No.
Did you say?
Så vi har warehouse. Mi kappa ett, mi get out for other work to work. I took up the work. Travelers in, I give, so I took out the orders for the travelers one. And later I took over the other manufacturer.
And you say you...
So we are manager, the manager retired, and I took his job with my English. I took telephones, everything.
How,
I open the post in the morning, ring up net, what post in checks, in post, that's all.
how did you learn English?
But work,
Just from work?
But not by the handbag.
And your wife, did she teach you English as well?
The time is there, now I got patience to listen to it. And my job finished by the handbag 90, 82, 81. I've got another job by Diamond in Hanover Street.
In the Diamond Company?
Diamond Center, yeah.
And what job was that?
I've been a guide with my English.
Who were you guiding?
In tourists in every country. I explain to you Diamond Company, mine, me cut, me polish, everything. But I know God, I focus idea.
You said you had children. Can you tell me how many children?
Two children.
And their names?
Two daughters, Felisa and Pamela.
And are they named after anybody in
The
particular?
first, Pamela name of my mother. And Felisa name, I think, of my wife's Booba.
And when were the two girls born? Which years?
This I don't remember. No. And what are the grandchildren?
You have grandchildren?
Yeah.
Yes,
This-
we'll see the photos afterwards.
Yeah.
We'll see the photos afterwards,
Yeah.
because we can't see them now.
The,
And what
the
are your
name
grand-
this is of my brother and of my father's name.
Which-
Heinz Zeimel.
So your grandchildren's names are? What are your grandchildren's names?
The boy is of my father and of my brother.
And what's
Heinz
his name?
Yeah.
What is his name, the boy?
Ashley. We call him Ashley. But then the real name is Heinz Zeimel Lee.
And what are the names of
Emma
your
is not my mother, Esther. I know Sylvia's mother, Esther.
Yeah.
And the other grandchildren, this little one, and they have a name in the Bible, Kessia.
So have your children asked you, your daughters, have they asked you about
My
your
daughters, yeah.
experiences?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
have you told them?
Yes, I don't have.
And how do they react when you tell them?
They're actively, this I know. Now when I've been there, and then I made my second bar mitzvah, 1983 in the shul, Kleinel shul, when Arya Shafran came over. I told him I've been 52 years out from Auschwitz, I escaped. Get that speech. My daughter cried. Yeah.
How did your experiences affect your faith as a Jew?
I am blonde. The other Polish people not going to believe I am a Jew, I am blonde. Well, mostly Polish people, they're not blonde.
And how have your experiences affected your sense of Jewish identity? How do you feel as a Jew since your experiences?
Yeah. I never held my Jewish. Yeah. Everyone asked me, "You're a Jew?" No, yes, I'm a Jew.
Have what you've been through affected you in any other ways?
No.
Do you often think about what you
I
went
think
through?
all the time. I sleep in this.
You think you?
I sleep in
Do you
this,
have
yeah.
dreams?
Yeah, a dream, and I scream sometime nighttime. I never forget it. Everyone tell me, Ned, you must forget it. You're not going to forget it.
So you have nightmares.
Yeah.
Did you ever apply for restitution? Did you apply for compensation, financial compensation?
I had applied not to get too late. To close the pension scheme is very close. They lost my paper. But no, I become money from the what is the name? I become 500 mark a month in Klein Conference. My wife comes. Klein Conference. Yeah.
What is your attitude now to non-Jews, the Polish
Portugal.
non-Jews?
When I come to take petrol. The phone of the Polish people, I don't. They burn all together.
Sorry, can you say?
When I can take, I can use the petrol, benzene.
Yes.
The phone of Poland and take a match.
I understand.
I don't. I perhaps don't.
Why did?
Then ik weet, some Polish people then ik weet first with the Germany. From Poland, when Germany gone to Poland, we put on a yellow pass.
Yellow star.
And sometimes the don't want you to somebody took them cut away. You came to a Polish people, men, disappointed you.
That happened to you?
Yes.
Why did you decide to tell your story today?
I don't want. I was the last time when I've been in Sinclair House, and a woman was the you know, then.
The organizer
Yeah.
in England.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Special they make when this I don't make.
Is there any message you would like to give to future generations?
What much I can do? Tell me what message.
No, so is there anything you would like to add?
No.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your story with
Okay.
us.
That's all. The left is my sister-in-law, the Voira. The right is my brother, Chaim.
When do you think that photo would have been taken?
In the 30s.
Where?
Watch.
Did they survive the war?
No. This was the year was
Can you tell me what this document is?
a passport, Polish passport.
Yes. And when do you think it was issued?
This is 1946. Made in Poland, Wrocław. Before I left to go to France.
Thank you.
I've got my birth certificate, I lost this. I've got my birth certificate. I took it half the boat in Lodge.
You've got your birth certificate?
No, I lost it.
Oh, you lost it?
Yeah.
You finished her
Yeah.
name and her name and the relationship.
The right side is my daughter, Felisa. And the left is my son-in-law, Andrew Kennard. Then I'm married. The wedding been Singly Assembly, 1982. 86, sorry. The right side is my daughter, Pamela. The left side is my son-in-law, Dr. Baran. The wedding in Singly Assembly, 1990. And the right side is my daughter Pamela. So,
Can you say from left to right, who is on that
the
photo?
left to right is Natan Fox, Pamela Bren. This is Elizabeth.
And who is on the right? Is that your wife?
I know my last
Yeah. Is that your wife?
name. It's Sylvia Fox.
Yeah. And what is the
My wife.
occasion? What?
The wedding. This is when I go upstairs 300 o'clock. No,
Is it which daughter? Is that the way?
the first daughter, Pamela.
Thank you.
On left is my daughter Pamela. On the right is my sister Esther. To the right is my brother-in-law Zeph Gross.
And the occasion?
Wedding. Come to the wedding. In the left, my granddaughter Emma Kennard Robertson. In the right, my grandson Ashley Kennard.
And when was that photo taken?
This year, 1998. This is my granddaughter Kessia Bren. 1998, so? Yeah. 1998.
Go ahead.
The book is a present of my second bar mitzvah.
Yeah. Wait a minute, he has...
1998 and 17, January. Nusen Benzano. This is my name and my father's name.
Nathan, would you like to introduce the family?
On the left side is my wife, Sylvia. On the left hand side is my grandson, Ashley. I am the middle, Natan Fox. The second one is Emma Kennard. And the end is my daughter, Felisa Kennard.
Is there anything you would like to say to your family, Nathan?
To pay off the mortgage, to make a easy living.
Nothing else.
To my granddaughter, who ran good in school, Grandma Robertson. For 70 years, you drive a car. And Ashley, I want to live to your bar mitzvah. And my wife, she lived to 190 years, not 120.
Sylvia, is there anything you would like to say?
Yes, well, that was how proud I am of my husband. I think what he went through, he survived, and he's got a beautiful family now, although he's lost his other family. That's all.
Would anybody else like to say anything?
I just hope that the tapes get seen and the kids of the future learn what's happened in the past and doesn't get forgotten.
Anybody else? No? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay?
So that peace in Schulen, no more wars.